Sunshine, nature, exploration, tropical islands, vacation vibes. These are a few of my favorite things about summer, and it won't be complete without cozy games to go along with all of it, especially when we're out relaxing under the sun or even staying cool away from the heat. Video games are for any day and time of year, of course, but we also love how they can create the most atmospheric experience to match any season. Here are the games, some new releases, and old favorites that I'll be unwinding to this summer on Nintendo Switch and Steam, and I think you'll want to check these out. Kicking off our list with a few farming favorites. Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life came out somewhat recently, and it's a remake of the GameCube game with a similar name. I feel like I might have mentioned this game already a few times on my channel, so hopefully you're not sick of it yet, but it really is a gem to play. I do have a gameplay of it as well, which I haven't uploaded yet, so if that's something you may still want to watch, even though it's a little bit delayed, please let me know. If you've played the original, I think you won't be disappointed with this game, as it really kept the essence of the OG while adding some more modern quality of life improvements and other gameplay features, new marriage candidates, animals, events, and more. You start a new life in the tranquil town of Forgotten Valley, where you make new memories building your farm, and where this game puts more of its focus on compared to other farming games is building those friendships with the townsfolk, and eventually finding a romance partner to grow a family with. Once you have a child, you can watch them grow up and find out if they'll follow you through this farming journey, or maybe end up finding their own passions. The town is small and there's not much else to do besides the usual things you'd expect on a farming life sim, so if you're coming from more modern and content-rich farming games, you might find that there's definitely less to do here. The original is from 2 decades ago after all, but if you want to experience a classic in this genre, or you want to revisit Forgotten Valley once again on the Nintendo Switch, I think it's a very good summer title this year. Story of Seasons: Friends of Mineral Town will always be a keeper for me. The original game on the Game Boy Advance, Harvest Moon: Friends of Mineral Town, was my very first introduction to farming games, and I guess I've been cozy gaming since. That game is another true classic, just like the last one, inspiring many other farming games that came after it, including the next game that I'll be talking about on this list, but with good reason. And the Switch remake brings back all the things I loved about the OG, but bringing it into a more modern platform, graphics, and some gameplay improvements. What I love the most about Friends of Mineral Town is that it feels like a proper farming game. What I mean by that is that there aren't much other things to do in the game but to focus on rebuilding that farm. It follows a very familiar formula in these types of games by now, where you inherit a farm from your grandpa and you take it on to sort of give it a new lease on life, while at the same time you also learn to love the slower countryside living coming from the hustle and bustle of the city. So raising crops, caring for animals, fishing, mining, foraging are to be expected. You can also woo a set of bachelors and bachelorettes, eventually having the option to start a family with them. I think if you enjoy farming life sims for the farming and not so much any other added things like fighting or taming monsters or a larger RPG adventure, I think just like A Wonderful Life, the nostalgia does add to the comfort and relaxation when playing this game. But if you've never tried this or the Game Boy one before and you like the slow farm living part in other farming games, then I do highly recommend you check this out. Stardew Valley needs no introduction, and yes, this gem of a game does exist because the creator took inspiration from the last game, or the original at least. I know Stardew Valley is probably one of the biggest and most popular farming games of today, especially with a whole cozy gaming community, but I think not many know that this isn't the first of its genre. I often hear about people calling new farming games coming out a Stardew Valley copy or clone, and while I do love this game and I think the content is incredible, by the way, I also love that the creator still keeps releasing free content updates to the game like 7 or so years after its original release date. I just wanted to mention that Concerned Ape himself was inspired by another game, and it isn't wrong to draw inspiration from the things we enjoy. It's a way to learn from something and be able to take all the best parts about it while improving upon it. And honestly, even if games end up being really similar to Stardew Valley or Story of Seasons, I say the more farming and life sims, the merrier. There isn't a date yet for the upcoming 1.6 content update as I'm recording this, but Concerned Ape did tease that there will be new festivals, items, more dialogues, and more secrets to uncover. I know I'll definitely be starting a new farm in Stardew Valley this summer to get ready for the update, and of course if you play it on PC, there's also a whole other world to this game as well if you ever want to dabble in Stardew Valley mods. I've actually wanted to try starting a farm with mods for a while now, but I'm just so afraid that it'll end up taking over my life because there's just so much amazing mods and content. It seems to be never ending, but let me know below if you think we should check it out on a video together or something. The only thing better than shopping for new games to play is getting a great deal on those games. So if you're like me, you're constantly on the lookout for sales and promotions because the more money saved, the more games I can also buy, which is never something I'll complain about. Which is why I use websites like G2A, our sponsor of today. It's basically like an online marketplace like Amazon, but for video games and software. Right now they're having a nice console game sale, which includes our beloved Nintendo Switch, but you can also shop through some of the most popular games right now for every platform with discounts up to 80% off. Mario Kart 8, for example, a staple in every Switch library, in my opinion, is $63 Canadian. Pokemon Legends Arceus, one of my all-time favorite Pokemon games, as of right now is $55. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is only $46. All are usually $80 plus tax. Regularly, I mean, it speaks for itself, and if you can't find something at the time or want to spread the gaming love to gift to others, then you can also buy eShop codes, Steam gift cards, or even subscriptions for Xbox and PlayStation, so everyone can find something that they like. You can shop using my link in the pinned comment and the description box to access the console game sale running right now. Thank you to G2A for sponsoring this portion of the video. Pikmin 4 is my current obsession. I think it's such an underrated cozy game, and I'll just say right away that there is a demo on the eShop. If you've never played a Pikmin game before, I urge you to try it out since it is for free and there's so much content inside the demo alone. More than enough to tell if this game is for you, but honestly, I don't think it'll take much convincing. And if you do go through the entire demo, because it is quite long actually, by the end you would have invested all the time and effort already to collect Pikmin and train your Ochi, so how could you abandon them, right? You're going to want to keep playing and see how the rest of the story unfolds. In a nutshell, it's about Captain Olimar, who gets in an unfortunate shipwreck in a strange planet, aka Earth. So he sends for help, but seemingly everyone who comes to his rescue all crash their spaceships as well. So it's left up to you to carry out the rest of the mission, and on the way to Olimar, you also have to look for the other crew members who failed. Each of them will aid you in different ways, like upgrading your gear, your ship, or helping you train Ochi to learn new skills that'll make all your exploration much easier. I'm loving this game so much, I actually ended up downloading Pikmin Bloom on my phone as well so that I can get that Pikmin fix on the go when I don't have my Switch on me. And a little bonus, if you finish the demo all the way or you play the full release copy, you actually get a bonus outfit on the Pikmin Bloom app. It's an Ochi Rider outfit, which I'm obviously rocking right now. There's always a game in what feels like every single one of these videos that I struggle saying, but Toradon or Jordani? Sorry about that. Either way, it came out also recently, and it's a beautiful narrative adventure with a very fitting, beautiful watercolor art style to match. You play as Mimi and you go through her fondest memories when she was younger. You reminisce while exploring vast landscapes filled with summer colors, and this becomes a reflection of her journey from childhood to her present self. As you go through her memories, you collect different photos, sounds, and scents to fill your journal with, all unique to each player's adventure. It is on the shorter side, and being that it's story focused, I don't want to spoil too much about the game, but I think this heartwarming and very cozy experience will be a memorable one for you as well. It really is a lovely game and a nice break from the typical cozy farming life sim. I enjoy playing these narrative type games because it's like an interactive movie or a good book you just can't put down. Alright, Shin-chan, me and the professor on summer vacation, the endless 7-day journey. I think I got that right. Say that 10 times fast. While not so much heartfelt like the last game, it actually reminded me a lot of Toradon because of some gameplay elements, and summer vacation is literally on the name, so I had to include it on this list. If you like anime or manga, you might know of Shin-chan, and if you've never heard of him before, it's still a pretty good cozy game option to try out. Like the title mentions, it is about his summer vacation. I just learned it's actually part of a My Summer Vacation game series, which is popular in Japan, and though this is the first I've played anything of its kind, and I don't know about the other games, this one kicks off with Shin-chan and his family arriving at the airport of their destination. Almost immediately they met a strange old man before they could even leave the airport. He took their photo with some mysterious camera invention of his and asked Shin-chan to use it during his summer stay. And thus begins his journey. He brings along this camera everywhere with him, taking photos of bugs and fish he catches, crops he grows, sceneries, townspeople, memories, and more to fill his journal with as well. Eventually, he would find the strange old man again, this time standing next to a giant creature under the moonlight, and what follows are more strange things that start happening in this town for you to uncover. Where do I begin about this next game? Bugsnax is a very curious adventure game. It does take place on an island, so summer vibes. But when I first saw this game, it almost flew right under my radar, but I'm so glad that I actually checked it out. It's about these half bug, half snack creatures called Bugsnax. Go figure. You're an explorer who ends up on Snacktooth Island. You've been invited there, but when you arrive, your fellow explorer is missing. You find her camp totally turned upside down, and so you have to investigate and find out what happened to her and about the other mysteries of this land. Most importantly, find out what these Bugsnax are, and to do that, you have to capture all 100 different types of them. You have to craft and set up different contraptions and bait. There's tons of side quests and challenges. You can also collect decorations for your hut and even dress up your favorite snacks with hats. It's so random. Snacktooth Island is filled with unusual creatures and characters and an equally unusual gameplay, but it is so much fun. I love discovering new games like these to play because I don't know about you, but I tend to gravitate towards similar games all the time. That's a big part of cozy gaming for me, is sort of going to those comfort games, which does mean relaxing but also familiar in many ways. That's why I don't mind playing one farming game after another. So when games like Bugsnax comes up and it ends up being pretty good, it's a really pleasant surprise and one I think is worth checking out if you haven't already. Chia is the only game on this list that unfortunately isn't out on Nintendo Switch. It's out on Steam, and that's how I'm playing it right now. It's now also available on PlayStation 4 and 5, so if you have those consoles, then that's another option to play this game as well. But I simply couldn't leave this game off this list because out of everything here, it's probably the most summery it could get. Chia takes place in a very tropical setting inspired by New Caledonia. Lots of beaches, swimming, and riding on a boat in the ocean, and Chia, which is also the name of the character you play, sets off in this unexpected coming-of-age adventure to save her father from a mysterious and cruel villain. It's a totally open sandbox world, so you can explore the gorgeous sights freely, run, climb, glide, swim, sail, and use Chia's hidden gift, which is being able to take control of any object or animal you can find. How amazing does that sound? Not only can you explore the world however you like as Chia, but now you also have the new perspectives from a bird soaring high in the sky to a totally inconspicuous rubber tire. The music in this game is also chef's kiss. Not just as background music, but it does come into play when Chia plays her ukulele to unlock some special events. You can also unlock different ways to customize her clothing, boat, tools, and so on. There's tons to do in this game, and I feel like I'm only getting started, but I am eager to explore it even more. This next game is a classic, and by classic I mean like 3 years old. It's one of the first games I mentioned in my very first cozy gaming video ever. How time flies. I don't want to say I helped in spreading the word about this game, but I could not stop talking about this game when it first came out, and I've actually been meaning to replay it, I think every few months or so after its release. I've been wanting to restart it and re-experience the game again, but just never got to it. This summer feels like a good time to do it though. Since my first time playing it, it's also had content updates, so there are new spirit friends to meet and a larger world to explore, so I'm pretty excited. And the boat theme is kind of summery, right? Spiritfarer is about Stella, who becomes a ferry master to a ship that picks up and transports spirits who have passed on and takes them to their next life. And although it touches on a deeper topic like death, the gameplay itself and even how the story unravels as you get to know and form bonds with each spirit, it's comforting and sort of provides solace to an otherwise sad part of life. During their journey on the water, Stella gets to know more about the different spirits. She becomes their caretaker, and you get to build out and customize your boat according to what they might need. There are mini games, there's fishing, mining, harvesting, cooking, crafting, all the cozy little things we love, and in the end it teaches you how to let go and say goodbye to each friend. Now I can't promise you won't cry playing this game, but I can promise that it'll be one of the best cozy games, if not the best games in general that you've ever played. Alright, wiping off the tears from the last game, I wanted to finish off this list on a higher note, and no other game can capture the carelessness and freedom that we like feeling during summer vacations better than Untitled Goose game. This was a very beloved game around its release, and I've been really enjoying playing it again recently. It takes place during a nice, peaceful morning in town, and that's until this naughty little goose shows up. You play as this goose and you've made it your mission to disrupt everything. I promise it's way cozier than I might be making it sound. You basically wander about, you have checklists to do, containing of course the most menacing tasks like stealing slippers, breaking pots at a garden, throwing someone's food into the river, moving things around at someone's shop, and you can sort of imagine the rest from there. I love it because you can freely walk around and do everything at your own pace. There's no rush to do anything, and you're sort of just moving on to one victim to another. Again, I'm probably not doing this game justice, but you can see from the gameplay clips right now, even the art style and color palette is simple but somehow really pleasing. And not to forget all the laughs that you will get from playing as a mischievous goose. Yes, being chaotic can be cozy too. Honestly, there were way more games that I wanted to add to this list, but then this video would never end. So if you want to see a part 2, definitely let me know down below. And I'd also love to hear from you if there are any games you've already been enjoying this summertime or any that you might be looking forward to. Thank you so much for watching. As always, be kind to yourselves and stay hydrated, especially under the heat this season. And I'll see you next time.